Okay, so this is the next topic that I wanted to talk about. And since the other video was already basically, well, by the time I finished, it was definitely over 18 minutes, I'm going to start this video. So I have been in Ephesians 4, and this is something that God has already been talking to me about. I did watch a couple videos recently that touched on the topic, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it as well. Like, I am a woman, and for some time, it was many years ago actually, but for some time, God told me to stop wearing makeup. And I know exactly why He told me to stop wearing makeup. It was just because of the life circumstances that I was in, and to also help keep me safe to a certain degree. And also because I pray to God that I could fix my life. And I wanted to scrap everything and start from scratch with God, building a solid foundation and then building up from there. And after I prayed that, that's when he told me to go ahead and, let go of the makeup. And he also told me to, tone down the way that I dressed. And it wasn't that I was out here dressed like Hot Girl Summer or anything like that, but I liked fashion. And yeah, it was like I was actually blessed to have a brother that designed clothes and everything. And so that was a true blessing and an experience for me. And I just want to take the time, just in case he ever listens to this video, to thank him. Thank you if you're listening to this. Um, because you helped me in ways that I'm not even sure I would have been able to help myself, and especially in my earlier years, because, like I've said in past videos, I'm not sure if I have them private or if I have them public. At this point, I'm going to have to listen to my videos, but I do believe that I'm on the autistic spectrum. And yeah, it was just a lot of things, a lot of things that I just did not get. It just wasn't clicking. It wasn't clicking. And I was blessed. God blessed me with a brother that was that is super creative and super talented. And I'm sorry, a car just kind of pulled up right behind me. So I'm gonna pause this and move my vehicle, and then I will get back to this in a second. Oh, never mind. It was food delivery. But anyway, so like I was saying, like I was lacking a lot of knowledge that I think a lot of people just gather naturally, or that it's just naturally in them. But at the same time, God was working through my brother to teach me a lot of those things and to help fill in some of the voids that I was just born with. And so yeah, I truly to this day, and I'm pretty sure to the day I die, appreciate that. But like I'm going back to when I prayed to God about starting over, starting from scratch, building on a solid foundation, and then building up from there. God started helping me to realize that it was time to take the things that I had learned throughout life, and not just like with my brother, but just in general, and start applying them the way that God leads me to apply them in my life. And So I started doing that. And ah, this is where getting in your Bible helps and comes in handy, because I wasn't in my Bible during this time. I just had a relationship with God. And so I would start working on something that God has me working on within myself. And then next thing I know, distractions would pop up. And so I went through that cycle for a number of years. Like, I'm not going to front, like a number of years. Just distraction after distraction. Any relationship that formulated as far as romantically, it basically was a cycle. Like, I was going through the same thing, different person, for a number of years. And I didn't really understand what was going on, and I would try to communicate with them to see what I'm doing wrong so I could stop it. And not in the sense of like, oh, stay with me, because I can totally understand if I'm not someone's cup of tea. I can totally understand that. But what I was trying to get out of it was, tell me, what is it that is, that you're not attracted to, that's turning you off, or whatever it may be, so I can learn and grow and develop myself. And if there's things that I need to change in order to be the type of man that I want is attracted to, then I can go ahead and start trying to figure out how to make those changes. Long story short, not too many people told me anything. And I didn't realize that God wanted me to take all them questions to Him. Because, like I prayed, I wanted to be rooted in Him. I wanted to scrap everything, start from scratch, build a solid foundation, and build up from there with God. And so when these distractions came, and the enemy was throwing warfare and all this other stuff my way, and I had no idea what it was, I was still looking to man, so to speak, to help me figure out what I was doing wrong so I can grow and develop and all of that. Meanwhile, I'm like living straight out my flesh. Like, I had it all wrong. I had it all wrong. And I am not going to beat myself up about that, because there was a lot of lessons that I learned through the experiences that I've gone through. And I'm actually appreciative of all of those experiences. So then I got to a point to where I had enough. It was just like, okay, clearly I'm in some type of life cycle, because the same thing keeps happening. Like I said, different people, different faces, same character, same spirit in these people. And the crazy thing is that it would start out one way when I met someone that I actually was interested in, and we would have a bond and everything would be cool. And then all of a sudden, it was like that same spirit from the last person was now in this new person. And so I would end up going straight into the same exact cycle that I just got out of, just maybe at a different stage. And so yeah, I had had enough. And so finally, I took my questions to God. And I'm just like, God, like, what is really going on? What is this? Because I see the pattern. I can't help but to see the pattern. What am I doing wrong? What is it that I'm doing that's making this pattern pop back up? And let me just tell you, like, when you start asking God questions like that, brace yourself. Like, I'm just going to put it like that. Go ahead and brace yourself and realize He may not give you the answer right away, or the answers, like in my case. It may not happen right away. But just realize you did ask that, and he will start showing you. He will start helping you to understand a little something about yourself. And yeah, just realize that that is a phase as well. And if you are really trying to change for the better, change for the Lord, change for God's kingdom, and become the person that God made you to be, it don't matter how you think you are. There's some improvements in there, and some improvements that you probably never even thought of. That's just what it is, and that's fine. It's like, I mean, we don't see things the way that God sees things. We don't see all, we only know in part, and all of that. So you just gotta be willing and ready to ride that ride. Brace yourself. Let's see. Be there for yourself. Be a friend to yourself while you're going through that. Give yourself some grace and understanding. Try not to beat yourself up too much. It happens if you do, but try to shake it off. Try to shake that off and continuously go to God and ask Him how to get through whatever He's just shown you about yourself or about other people, just about your situation in general. Yeah, just you should get in the habit of going to God about these things in your life all the time anyway. And this is, of course, if you're giving your life over to the Lord and you are trying to change for the better, like I said, and live for Him and serve for the kingdom. So, yeah, like I ended up letting go of makeup because I'm like, okay, well, guys are visual beings. They like to, see pretty faces and slim waist and all of that. And so yeah, I was like, okay. And then I gradually started to change the way that I dressed. And I start wearing, more loose clothes, more sweats and stuff like that. And hiding my femininity, I guess you can say. And actually I got to a point to where I was trying to not be seen. I didn't want the attention from like the opposite sex. Like I didn't want all of that because the way I was looking at it is this is a distraction. It's like every time I start working on myself, I end up getting distracted. And it's because I'm attracting men, and right now I need to be working on myself. So I turned my looks off. I stopped wearing makeup, and yeah. And so that's how I rolled for a number of years actually. And God has told me that I can wear makeup now and help me to realize why. And this is because I get it now. I get that I need to be going to Him. He's going to help guide me through my life. And I just don't have the same goals, viewpoints, and all of the things that I was getting wrong before. And I'm not by no means saying that I'm getting all things right, but the things that I have been diligently trying to work on, they are so much better than they were back then. And so now I guess I'm giving God something that He can work with. I'm not, just indulged in sin, though I am human. So, we are all sinners here. I am not trying to act like I'm perfect. I never seen myself or felt like I was trying to act like I was perfect. But I do believe that people felt that's what I was trying to do. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to figure my way out. And the way that my mind works is just a little bit different. Like, I don't like talking about people and bringing people down and all of that stuff. So it's like, I don't like it when people do it to me. I don't like seeing it or hearing people do it to other people. I just don't like it because I know how messed up the world is just without that. And so when you start adding those types of things in, it's not really helpful for anybody. And to be honest, it's not helpful for the person that is doing that and dishing it out as well. Like, they may get some kind of temporary gratification from that, but in the long run, it's not really doing much for them. And so, yeah, I just tried to stay away from that, and I've always tried to encourage, and I try to definitely help underdogs, so to speak, understand that the person that God made them to be is a very beautiful thing. And though they may not see it, or the world may not see it, which that's kind of like where I'm at. It's like, it's like, I don't really, I'm just letting God work through me, and I'm trying to heal from my past, and I am trying to be better than I was yesterday, last year, and, my whole life. And yeah, and trying to figure out how to maneuver in a better way. But I want to help people realize the treasure that God has made them. We're all individuals, and God made us differently for a reason. We are like puzzle pieces to this grand puzzle that God created, each piece different. And we should embrace that and realize that each piece is a special piece, because without that piece, the puzzle is not complete. And so I like to encourage people. So going back to the makeup thing though, yeah. So God did tell me that, I can go ahead and start, doing some makeup and, dressing up again and all of that stuff. But I still honestly don't feel like I'm ready for that completely. And it's not because I don't trust myself or anything like that. It's just, it's a lot easier to stay focused when I'm not having to explain to someone that I'm just in a place of trying to get myself together and healing. Because sometimes people don't take rejection well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel away. It's just, that's really, honestly, the place that I'm in right now. So it's like, I know if I start throwing on the makeup and dressing cute and all of that, I'm not saying that I'm going to be turning heads all day and people are just going to be trying to blow up my phone. That's not what I'm saying at all. But why put myself out there like that if I'm not ready to attract anyone? I know that I'm not ready. So it's like, why do that? That's the way I look at it. And I do like the way I look and how it makes me feel when I dress up and when I throw on makeup and, look cute. And I like that for me. But more importantly, I'm trying to work on this foundation, this solid foundation. That right there, that is what's going to help me build the confidence, the inner confidence that I need. And so that's why I'm choosing not to focus on my looks so much. It's like, okay, they're there. Like, as much as they're there, they're absent as much as they're absent. Like, I'm definitely not the best looking person in the world, but I'm also definitely not the worst looking person in the world. I'm just me. I'm simply V. That's it. That's it. And I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. I am. It is what it is. Like, take it or leave it. It really doesn't even matter to me. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that. And I know that Some people can try to make you feel a way for either dressing up, like, oh, like, you're overdressed. Why are you dressed like that? And, this, that, and the third. But on the other side, people can try to condemn you and make you feel away because you're dressed down. It's like, oh, why don't you, fix yourself up? You don't love yourself and all of those things. Only you and God knows what and why you are doing what you're doing when you're in the season that you're in. And that's all that matters, honestly. And if God has told you to stop wearing makeup, then go on and put the brush down and the makeup down for a little while. It may be for a short season. All I can say is, like, for me, he helped me understand why he wanted me to put the makeup down. Because the road that I was going down, not that it was a bad road at all. Like, it just would have took me down a different path in life. And yeah, when I prayed to him and asked him to help me to scrap everything, start from scratch, and to build that solid foundation with him and start building, build up from there, that's what he did. And that was part of it. It's like, okay, well, you need to detox from the way that you're used to doing things. You need to sit some stuff down. Let me work on your mind and your soul and healing you. And then you can pick those things back up. And when you pick them back up, you won't be doing things the same way that you were doing them before. You won't have the same mindset that you had when you were doing it before. You won't be doing the things that you were doing before. Like, I don't go out to clubs and stuff anymore. So it's like, just things are different. They've changed. I am maturing little by little. And yeah, I'm just like enjoying the ride. And that doesn't mean that I don't have my bad days, because seriously, if you get to looking back at the past couple years, like, I was depressed for, I want to say, like, at least a year and a half straight. And I'm talking about like that deep depression. But in the midst of that depression, while on the outside it looked like I wasn't doing nothing, I was letting God heal me from within. And yeah, it's like, I'm blessed to be where I'm at today. But to be honest, like, I am still trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. But I'm okay with this part of the process and the season that I'm in. And I understand that there's spiritual warfare, and there has been spiritual attacks against my finances. I know that now. And so God is teaching me how to deal with that and how to maneuver around it. It's part of the scrapping everything, starting to build a solid foundation, and then building up from there. So I'm not tripping. However, from the outside looking in, once again, it's just like, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? Why is she doing that like that? Like, I get it. It looks crazy. It feels crazy sometimes, to be honest. It does. But when I tell God that it is his will, not mine, not like he doesn't already know that, because he does, but just the invitation of that, because we all have free will, that means I'm not in control of this ride. God is. And like I said, I only see in part. So I'm just maneuvering through. I understand it's a part of the process, and it's the season that I'm in. He's developing me. And yeah, it's like, while I'm working on this major goal or whatever it may be, or, like the bigger goal or whatever, there's little things that have to be done and set in place, and for me to learn along the way. And so while I'm taking care of all of that, I get that from the outside looking in, it's just like, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? Like she, what? Like, what's going on with her? I get it. And, it's not for me to explain. It's not even like I got all the answers. But God has led me to share parts of my journey on this page to help other people that may be going through it or may go through it in the future. Even people that have been through it. And this is just a confirmation and what they needed to hear to go ahead and allow themselves to give themselves a pat on the back for how far they've come. Because it ain't easy. It's not easy. But what else do I got to do? I want to become better. I don't want to be the same person I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I look, the way I'm looking at it is, and how you keep things fresh and don't get bored with life, is learning, implementing, and growing. And that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm enjoying life. So from the outside looking in, sure, it may look like, oh my goodness, she has the most boring life in the world. Meanwhile, I'm having a ball learning the things I need to learn, dealing with the difficulties and the stress and all that stuff that comes with it. Because when I say I'm having a ball, I'm not like, literally life's a party. That's not what I mean. But God is giving me a certain peace that I didn't even know existed. And I'm just trying to help other people find that inner peace within themselves, which is building that relationship with the Lord, figuring out what your part of the puzzle piece is, what your puzzle piece is for this puzzle of our lives, of God's kingdom. And then also give yourself and others some credit. Give credit where credit is due. Try it out. It doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. And if you are one of those types of people that like to talk about people in a negative way, I encourage you to try it. Try giving credit where credit is due. And if you don't see it, search it out. Because it's out of practice for you. So search it out. Find some credit to give to the next person and give it to them. And compare how you feel after doing that to how you feel when you're normally just talking about people. Just compare. It's like, I know when you're just talking about people and you got your crowd around you and you got people laughing at someone's expense and all of that, you feel funny, you feel like inflated a little bit. And but then that's short-lived because it's not on a solid foundation. Where when you actually give credit where credit is due, just peep out how it makes you feel. You don't got to tell nobody that you're doing it. Just within yourself, it's an experiment. And just see how you feel and how long that feeling lasts compared to you cracking a joke or something like that at someone's expense. Yeah, so nonetheless, I feel like I kind of talked about everything that I wanted to talk about here. I hope I did not offend anybody. I hope people are able to gain something of substance from this word. And just remember that Jesus is our Lord and Savior. God loves you. If you don't pray or haven't started praying, give it a try. Talk to the Lord, invite him into your life. He will work wonders. You just got to be open and willing to get into that groove with him and submit to him and serve the kingdom. But yeah, I hope nothing but the best for everyone. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, depending on when you listen to this, and stay blessed.